Yo guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're not just throwing random football predictions today at you, we're hunting edges. I'm using a stats model that gives us a hit rate and a fair odds line for every match. Then we compare that to the bookie odds and only touch the spots where we've actually got value, where our probability is higher than the price they're offering. So if I say over 1.5 goals or over 2.5 goals in a game, you'll see the model hit rate, the fair odds, and the edge on screen. That way you're not betting vibes, you're betting numbers. Remember, it's still football, nothing is guaranteed, but if you stack these small edges over time, you start thinking like a pro bettor, not a casual. Grab a drink, manage your stakes, and let's dive into today's best value plays. First game today comes from the EFL Cup, where Manchester City host Brentford. City are heavy favorites again. The model gives them about a 68% chance to win, and it absolutely loves goals here. Over 1.5 goals is hitting in 92% of simulations. That gives us fair odds of around 1.09, but the book is hanging 1.17, so we've got roughly a 7.5% edge on that line. Over 2.5 also looks decent, with a 65% hit rate and tiny positive value at 1.55. But my main focus here is simply over 1.5 goals as the safer value side of the market. Next up, we've got CF Talavera against Real Madrid in the Copa del Rey. Classic David versus Goliath spot. Real are away to a third-tier side in a tiny stadium, but even with heavy rotation, they usually create a ton of chances in these early round cup ties. For the over 1.5 total goals, my model is firing. Model hit rate about 92%, fair odds around 1.09. Bookmakers are paying 1.113, which gives us roughly a plus 4% edge on the line. Over 2.5 goals also looks very likely at 68%, but the fair price there is closer to 1.47 and the market is at 1.44, so there's little to no value. I'd treat that more as a lean, not a main play. So for this match, I'm keeping it simple. Talavera versus Real Madrid. Over 1.5 goals as the value pick, using the numbers to squeeze out a small but real edge. Always remember, edges don't guarantee wins. They just make sure we're not flipping coins. Game 3, another Copa del Rey mismatch. Atlético Baleares from Spain's third tier hosting Atlético Madrid. Simeone's side have been much more attacking in recent seasons, sitting around 1.8 league goals per game and generally taking care of business against lower division teams. The model gives this tie a 90% chance to beat 1.5 goals and about 66% to beat 2.5 goals. That implies fair odds of about 1.11 for over 1.5 and 1.52 for over 2.5. The market is dealing 1.8 and 1.58, which means roughly a plus 6% edge on over 1.5 and around plus 4% value on over 2.5. For me, that's one of the better value spots on today's card. Atlético Baleares versus Atlético Madrid, official pick, over 1.5 goals and over 2.5 as the more aggressive option if you want the bigger payout. As always, it's about thinking like a trader, not a gambler. Bet the edges, manage the risk, and don't overstake on cup chaos. Celtic's attack versus Dundee's defense screams goals. My model gives 90% for over 1.5 and 68% for over 2.5, while the fair odds should be around 1.11 and 1.47. With the bookie at 1.19 and 1.59, we get roughly a 7 to 8% edge on both, so I'm locking in over 1.5 as the main play and over 2.5 as the more aggressive option. This Swiss clash screams goals. My model gives around 90% chance we see at least 2 goals, while the book is only pricing that at about 85% with odds of 1.18. Fair odds based on the data are closer to 1.11, so we've got a little 5% edge on over 1.5. Over 2.5 also has value with a 68% hit rate versus market odds of 1.58. For the safer leg in a combo, I'm taking over 1.5 goals here.